Alright, welcome to Unit 1.3, Absolute Value. We've kind of talked about absolute value a little bit, but let's dig into it a little further just to make sure you have a good understanding. Absolute value is the distance from 0 on the number line. The distance from 0. So think about if you were actually standing on a number line on 0. If they said 5, what's the absolute value of 5? That is 5 steps from 0. So the absolute value of 5 is 5. And if they said, what is the absolute value of negative 5? Negative 5 is still 5 steps from 0. So the absolute value of negative 5 is still 5. It's talking about the absolute distance from 0, right? So let's look at that. Evaluate each expression. The absolute value, that's what these bars mean. Absolute value of negative 13. How far is negative 13 from 0? It's 13 steps. 21 is 21 steps, right? 3 steps plus 5 steps is 8. So you find the absolute value of each one and then you add them. Absolute value plus absolute value is 17. Right? These are simple, but then we're going to get more complicated. We're going to have stuff inside the absolute value bars, stuff outside the absolute value bars, right? The absolute value of negative 12 is 12. The absolute value of 15 is 15. You add them together, you get 27. Now we're looking inside the absolute value bars, right? Think of them like grouping symbols, like parentheses. Do what's inside first. 21 minus 17 is 4, and the absolute value of 4 is 4. All right? This one's going to be cautious because of the sign, the negative sign in between. These ones had a positive sign, so we added them. This one's going to have a negative sign in between, so we're going to subtract, right? So first, the absolute value of negative 11 is 11, subtracted by. The absolute value of negative 5 is 5. 11 minus 5 is 6. Absolute value of 4 minus the absolute value of negative 4, so 4 minus 4 is 0. 15 minus 23, so bring down your absolute value bars because we're not done with them, is negative 8. And the absolute value of negative 8, it is 8 steps from 0. The absolute value of 24 is 24 minus the absolute value of negative 15. The difference between 24 and 15, we're subtracting, we're looking for the difference between, is 9. This is why we had to focus so hard on adding and subtracting integers, because if you can't do that, you can't do this. Absolute value of 28 minus the absolute value of negative 26 is 2. The absolute value of negative 3 minus the absolute value of 19 gives you negative 60. Kosher on absolute value? Feel free to ask questions. Pause it here. I'm about to erase it.